So start off by looking up at that top right where it talks about, it's got the little red and it says that's the degree. Then we got our little blue, you know, whatever is inside of the radical, that's called the radicand. And then our cute little house is our radical sign. So when looking at this, let's start off at number 1. What do you think? I want you to just look at it for a second and think about, based on all the radical stuff we've done, common sense. What does common sense tell us to do?
Can we just simplify it first and then?
Okay, so tell me what you want to simplify.
The 18.
You could, but it'll actually in the end be more work. So do you want to do the more work or do you want to hold off on that part?
Not really, but wouldn't it make the 2 and the 2 the same?
What were you going to say? The 30 and the 5. Do you see how both of those numbers are on the outside?
Yeah.
So if they're both on the outside, aren't they just numbers outside of our radical and we can do something with them? What do you think we can do with that 5 over 30? Divide by?
5.
Okay, so I've got 5 divided by 5 is?
What? Wait, 5 divided by 5.
I'm just reducing.
Oh.
5 divided by 5 is 1. 30 divided by 5 is? So the 6 goes on the top of the bottom. Very good, because that mistake happens all the time. Do I need to put the 1 on top at this point? Do you think we're going to end up with something else? Okay. So now, those two radicals, do they have the same root or same degree?
No.
They don't? What are the degrees?
Oh.
The root. Think about the root of my radical.
They're both the same.
They're both 2. They're both square roots. So we could, since they're the same, we can put them together underneath 1. Looks a little weird, but that's okay. So now we can treat these just as a fraction underneath our radical right now. So if you just ignored the radical altogether, what could happen? So 18 divided by 2 would give us the 9. Okay, now talk to me about my x's. Where's my bigger x? Because of the 3. So if the bigger one's on top, I'm going to write x. And then what do? Add or subtract those exponents? When dividing like bases, do we remember from long, long ago? Let's see. Is it x times x times x over x times x?
Oh, yeah.
So this would cancel and this would cancel, leaving me with
1.
So basically, we took the exponent of 3 and we subtracted the 2. Okay, so we have 9x. So I actually don't need my radical to go all the way down. It could have just gone to right there. Now it looks all weird, but that's okay. It's in the middle of our work. Is there anything else I can do?
Because of that, we just got completely rid of the 2x because we divided it.
Yeah, all I got left is I'll rewrite it so it looks nice and neat. I got the square root of 9x over 6. So based upon having the square root of 9x over 6, is there anything else? Perfect square. So what's the square root of 9? 3. Okay, Logan, I'm going to chat about that. We actually cannot do the 9 and 6 yet. Very good. The 6 is outside of a radical. So we got the square root of 9 is 3. What about the x? Can the x come out? So it's going to stay square root of x. What goes on the bottom? Okay. Is there anything else we can do now? So now they're both out. We can. And what do we get?
Square root of x over 3.
Over.
Or 3.
How about 2? In other words, 3/6 is 1/2.
You can't divide 3 by 6. It would.
We're just reducing it. Think about 3/6. Is 3/6 the same thing as 1/2? Okay, so now let's look at example 2. Do we have anything on the outside like we did on that last one? No. Okay, so in this case, we're talking about everything's underneath a radical. So I'm just going to put it all underneath a radical. Do you think you actually have to do this?
No.
No, you totally don't, but it does help with the visual a little bit. So looking at that, what can we do first?
Can do something with the Y's?
Yes, I was thinking.
You totally could. What can you do with the Y's? You got 1 to the first power on top, 1 to the first power on bottom. Do you agree? You agree it's to the first power? How do I know it's to the first power? Sorry, Gio. If there's nothing there, it's like having that imaginary 1. Okay, so I got my Y's will cancel out. What else could we do? Totally. What is 20 divided by 4? Okay.
Well, wait. Why can we do that if?
Because they're both underneath the radical.
Oh, it's because. Okay.
Because they both are to a square root, we can put them all together underneath that radical, and then we can treat them just like they're a normal fraction.
So it doesn't matter if there's x squared next to the 20 and the y next to the 4.
No, because we're not adding or subtracting.
Okay.
When adding and subtracting, that totally matters. Okay, what else do we have? We do. Talk to me about the x squared, though. Because we could do this in one step. I currently have taken care of the 20 and the 4, right? I've taken care of the y's. The only thing I have left is the square root of x squared.
You square root x squared to get.
What do you get when you square root x squared?
Just x.
Totally. Y'all rock. Y'all did that in one step. Nice job. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now we got this big word rationalizing. We'll see what that means in a second. So this one looks just like the last one. So let's just put it underneath one radical. 4m to the 10th n to the 7th all over 20m squared n. So see if you can figure out what would it look like if you simplified it. And then we'll come together and see if we all got the same thing. I tend to start off with the numbers first. Work my way left to right.
I think I got it.
Okay. You are welcome. Four 20s. You want one? Of course, you need to be walking. But if you're not putting any weight on it, I guess it doesn't matter. 4 20ths, wouldn't that be the same thing as 1/5?
Yes.
Okay, then the next thing we would have would be what? Where's my bigger m? On the top, so I would get m to the what? Uh-huh. Where's my bigger n?
On the top.
And I'd get n to the, okay. Now, you may have already done the next step in this move. I thought it might be too much if I tried to do that because some might not have. Can't do anything with the square root of 5, but what about m to the 8th? Can we take the square root of m to the 8th?
Yes.
How many 2's are in 8?
4.
We got 4 2's with a remainder of, so no m stay inside?
No.
What about n?
You can take 3 6's.
So 6 divided by 2 is 3 with a remainder of, and then now I've got this square root of 5 on the bottom. Here's the rationalizing part. Sorry. Huh?
Wait, was that in 6?
Yeah, it was a 6.
Never mind.
Anytime you do this, you know how we have some of those rules, like you can't leave an exponent negative and stuff like that? Well, this is one of those rules. You can't leave a radical on the bottom. It's really easy to get the radical off the bottom, though. All we have to do is multiply by 1, which sounds absolutely absurd, doesn't it? When you multiply by 1, do you change the value of it?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 1, but it's the type of 1 I'm going to multiply by. I'm going to multiply the square root of 5 over the square root of 5. Does that equal 1?
Yes.
So therefore, I did not change the value of this. But what happens when I multiply the bottom of that by the square root of 5? What's the square root of 5 times the square root of 5?
1.
Square root of 5
Oh.
times square root of 5.
10.
Doesn't that equal 5 times 5?
25.
So therefore, it's just going to be 5. Do I have a radical on the bottom anymore?
No.
That's all you have to do to get the radical off the bottom. When you multiply a radical by itself, the radical disappears. So the square root of 5,000 xyz times square root of 5,000 xyz is 5,000 xyz. The radical just goes away. Let's try another.
Why would it just be 5 and it would be 25?
Square root of 25 is? Okay, when you look at this one, you could multiply by the square root of 25 over the square root of 25, then you just have to reduce it a minute. So instead, I would simplify it first. I would do 4. What's the square root of 25? And then the x has to stay inside, correct? So now, all I have, what's the radical that's on the bottom? Radical. Square root of what? Do you see a 2 anywhere in that problem? So we're going to multiply by the square root of x over the square root of x, because that's what we need to go away. You see it? So on top, what are we going to get? 4 square root of x? Very good. And you notice how it won't reduce now?
Yeah.
Had we done the square root of 25, we would have had to reduce it. Okay, so now we're just going to review a little multiplying, just for practice. So, and then we're done. We can take our quiz. What's 3 times 7? No, it's 3 times square root of 6. Just 3 square root of 6, right? Whatever the sign is. Negative square root of 12 times 7. And then the last thing I have is negative square root of 12 times the square root of negative 6. It's definitely negative, right? And then I can just put my 12 and 6 inside of there, since they're not the same. And then I'm going to start trying to simplify. 21. Can I simplify the square root of 6?
Yeah.
To what? What is 6 made up of? 3 and 2. Do we have any buddies?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
So it's just going to stay square root of 6. What about 12? What is 12? What do you think? What do you multiply when you think about 12? 3 and 4. Do you know the square root of 4?
2.
There we go. So we got 7 times 2 is 14. So the 4 came out, but the 3 has to stay inside. Now, let's write this one out a little bit. We have 4 times 3 for 12, and then we have 3 times 2 for 6. We got buddies here, and then we got 2's inside of that, don't we? So the square root of 4 is 2 times 3, so a 6 comes out, and then that 2 stays inside. It doesn't have a buddy. Is everybody okay with that? Now we need to look at it. Okay, can we like add and subtract any of these?
Can't we add? Oh, wait. Well, yeah, the 3 and the 6 and the 6 and the 2. Can't you make the 2 into a 6 by times it by 3? Oh, wait, no, because you're not trying to cancel it, so never mind.
Okay. When you're looking at this, I want you to just look at your radicals. Look for radicals that are the same. Do we have any that are the same? No. It would have to be all radicals and all variables. So in this case, we're done. Looks like a big old mess, but we're done. Okay, so let's try the next one. This one is going to be, remember, you cannot distribute that 2. It is actually 6 minus the square root of 15 times itself, which means we got to do all that foiling stuff. So we got 6 times 6, or 6 squared. 6. Then we got 6 times negative square root of 15. Now, because these are exactly the same, we're going to get the exact same thing here. So we could have in our head just said, oh, and doubled it. And then we got negative times a negative. Square root of 15 times square root of 15. What happens when you square root multiply two square roots that are the same? That square root just goes away. Because you have two buddies of 15. So now we got 36 plus 15. Good. And then are these like terms?
Yes.
So we can put them together and it'd be minus
12.
square root of 15. Last thing, can we simplify square root of 15? Nope, it's just a 3 and a 5, right? It's totally prime. Okay, questions, problems with that?
No.
We're okay?